The honourable member from Desneti, Mississippi, Churchill River.
After 8 long years, more and more Canadians are realizing that this Prime Minister is simply not worth the cost. Mr. Speaker, we can now add the Premier of Northwest Territories to the growing list of people who are asking this NDP Liberal government to listen to their concerns and axe the carbon tax. As the Christmas season arrives, this Prime Minister's gift of giving has been replaced by a gift of taking from families, farmers and First Nations. Will the Prime Minister finally cancel his plan to quadruple the carbon tax and stop his plan to ruin Christmas?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister for Natural Resources and Energy.
Speaker, when this government came to power after 10 years of Harper and the member from Carleton, we were on track to see 12% increase in carbon emissions by 2030. Last week, we released the update on the emissions reduction plan, and it was a dramatic turnaround, Mr. Speaker. We will exceed the initial target of 30%, which we then raised to 40%. We will more than achieve the 2026 interim target, and we are on track to achieve the 40% target by 2030. Mr. Speaker, I am very pleased to say that our climate plan is working. Where is their climate plan?
The honourable member from Desneti, Mississippi, Churchill River.
Mr. Speaker, this from a minister whose government spent 3.5 times more responding to emergencies than supporting First Nations communities to prevent these emergencies. This NDP Liberal government refuses to listen. The newly elected AFN chief now lends her voice to the growing list of people who want to axe the carbon tax, which increases the cost of gas, groceries and home heating for all Canadians. Will the Prime Minister finally cancel his carbon tax so families, farmers and First Nations can afford a meal on Christmas Eve?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister for Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Last Thursday evening and Friday, the Conservative Party of Canada explained exactly where they were, how much they support farmers. In fact, they voted against farmers. The example of $337 million for the supply management program. Voted against it. It's vitally important to the agricultural sector. I can assure the dairy farmers and chicken farmers and egg farmers in this country, we are and will continue to support them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member from Peace River Westlock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if the Liberals actually wanted to support farmers, they would axe the carbon tax. After 8 years of this Liberal Prime Minister, a turkey in northern Alberta costs $82. Why would this be? Perhaps it's the carbon tax. I talked to a turkey farmer in northern Alberta, and he says he is struggling to pay the carbon tax. Regardless of how expensive the turkey is in the grocery store, he's having to pay the carbon tax, and he is unable to make a living to put food on his own table. Will the Prime Minister quit his bah-humbug approach to this Christmas, take off the carbon tax for families, farmers, and First Nations so Canadians can all enjoy a turkey for Christmas?
The Honourable Minister for Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope that turkey farmer looked at what the Conservative Party of Canada did last Thursday evening and Friday.
That's right.
They continually vote against agriculture and farmers. We in this side of the House will make sure that we fully support agriculture and make sure that they, for example, they have voted against the funding for on-farm climate action. On-farm climate action will help the environment. Mr. Speaker, we have and will continue to support farmers and take care of the climate in this country.